Hi, welcome to Broad Street Media. Use of face masks makes it tough for the deaf and hard of hearing community to communicate since it blocks the face. That feels better. You can clearly see my facial expressions as I sign, which is an important part of deaf culture. It's been 2 years that we've been wearing face masks, and the deaf and hard of hearing have been struggling greatly and misunderstanding and missing what persons are saying. There's been communication breakdown and many different issues at school, businesses, while shopping in town, at the doctor, interacting with the police, and friends and family. The deaf have been frustrated for the past 2 years, and I too have been. It is a great challenge. I have interviewed various deaf and hard of hearing persons. I encourage all hearing persons to please watch and listen. Pay attention to the following expressions and experiences. Some experiences are positive and some negative. Please watch. Hi, my name is Joy Hall. I am hard of hearing. Yes, 2 years ago, the COVID-19 pandemic started. The government required that face masks be worn. That was quite a challenge. The thing is, we who are hard of hearing depend on lip reading. We are not able to hear well. When we can see the lips, it helps us understand well. But when there is a mask, we cannot see, and it is such a challenge. Added to that is the presence of the glass shields. It means people's voices sound lower since the glass is a barrier. So that's another challenge. My name is Soraya. I am deaf. Yes, I had an experience when I went to the doctor. I stood there waiting, and when the guard spoke, I told him, I can't hear you. The guard kept talking. I said, I can't hear you. I am deaf. He looked at me and he said, Oh, hold on. He didn't know how to communicate with me. He tried to call me to go into the doctor. Then the doctor called my name, but I can't hear. I went to inform the doctor that I am unable to hear, and the doctor said, Oh, sorry, just sit. When the doctor wanted to communicate, it could not work out due to the use of a face mask. The doctor had to write or text on a phone. The doctor didn't allow me to pull down my mask. We had to write or text. I am comfortable with texting. So the doctor tried texting back and forth. I accepted it, but because of the mask, it was hard. It was frustrating, very frustrating. My name is Maud. I am deaf. I remember when COVID began in 2020. It was a really tough time for myself and other deaf persons around the world. This is because everyone was wearing a mask. Communication was very hard. Before, it was challenging, but with a mask, it was really messed up and tough for us. Hi, my name is Waveney. What was my experience? This was the hardest thing. It was the worst time when I had to do banking. I went into the bank to get money. I waited in the long line. I told the guard I am deaf. The guard said, You? No, you have to wait. But why would I have to wait? So I waited and waited and waited for a long time. I was standing in line for an hour. Then I went into the bank and went up to the woman at the desk. I told her. She was asking me questions. I told the woman, I can't hear you. I cannot hear what you're saying. The woman said, I told her to write for me. And she said, fine. And she began writing and gave me. The woman said, oh, I thought the woman knew how much money I needed. She said, I know sign language. I learned sign language a long time ago. I said, oh, good. I signed to her that I wanted $500. She was like, oh, and she started to take out $5,000. I said, no. I was embarrassed. I said, no, excuse me. Remember, watch my signs. 500. The woman said, oh. I was relieved. She took out the money and gave me, and then I put it in my bag, said thank you, and left. My name is Sharon. I am hard of hearing. I have challenges when I am at work. Sometimes I would meet a customer at the door wearing a mask, and when they talk, I would not understand them and have to ask them to please repeat again. The customer would become frustrated. I was saying it would be better if I bring paper and pen to write and show them to get their order and better understand. Yes, there are a lot of challenges with wearing masks. It is not easy for me. Sometimes the people I work with and I have similar frustrating experiences. They would call Sharon. They would call me and call me. Sometimes they shout and say, Sharon, Sharon. But I would say, what? I can't hear you. You need to put on your mask, please, and then talk. Yes, and then we can communicate well. But I know because of the presence of COVID-19, we have to follow the rules. But people need to know that the communication needs of deaf people must be respected. Hello, welcome. Hey, thank you. Welcome to the interview. Now, please introduce yourself. Let us know your name and sign name. My name is Felicia, signed as F by the lips. I know you are fully deaf, right? Yes. Okay, good. Why is it best that deaf persons represent themselves? Really? Can any hearing people represent me? No. It's because they do not know my pain, struggles, and feelings. They do not have the same experience. So really, they cannot speak for me. Right, true. Can you tell me what has been your experience with COVID for the past 2 years? Really, COVID has been awful for so many reasons. One reason being the wearing of masks. That's a big thumbs down. There's a whole list. I am a deaf person, and that means I do not hear like hearing people do. I listen with my eyes. It means I need to see everything clearly. The face mask blocks the face. I cannot see the smile, I cannot see the anger, I cannot see the facial expressions. You cannot see the facial expressions, right? I really need to be able to communicate. It's very, very important. I need to be able to understand accurately. I do not want to be guessing, misunderstanding, or misjudging what was said. I do not want to say the wrong thing because I heard incorrectly. Very true. I want to add that wearing the mask for extended periods of time means there will be trouble breathing. That is difficult. Wow, it is risky. Hey, what's your name? Hey, my name is Anik, signed A by the eyes. Great. Are you hearing? Deaf or hard of hearing? I am deaf. Great. Remember 2 years ago, COVID struck and spread across several countries and here in Barbados too. The government mandated that masks be worn at school, in town, and so on. There were communication challenges with wearing the mask. How did you feel? At school, I cannot hear anything. When they speak, I cannot hear. Wow, true. It is quite a challenge and barrier. You cannot hear and have to communicate by writing. Wow.